advice for Lori Harvey.
Really?
Yes. I think Lori Harvey is probably the first person that I've talked about on the show that I have no advice for.
Okay.
Because I feel like Lori Harvey did everything right. Lori Harvey kissed a bunch of frogs. And it's not her fault that none of them...
You guys get that reference? She kissed a bunch of frogs. She's trying to find her Prince Charming. That's the euphemism. That's I got to bang a lot of guys and find the right dude. Essentially, that's what it is. It's like kissing frogs. That sounds like really, really, grade school kind of simplistic. And I get it. I understand the reference. But that's not what we're talking about. This woman banged Future, okay? This woman was with Boo. This woman is with freaking, Michael B. Jordan. And like she's now like Michael B. Jordan's like leftovers at this stage. I don't know what the situation was or what happened, but let's cut the crap here, please.
Were good enough. That's their fault.
Wow. Okay.
If you were a big enough man in more ways than one, you might have been able to keep her, but you weren't good enough.
So essentially what you're saying here is Michael B. Jordan has a little dick. Is that where we're going with this? And if so, perhaps it's because of your magical knowledge of having worked in the adult film industry for so long that gives you this preternatural understanding of just looking at a guy and saying, yeah, he's probably not packing. Is that really where we're going? Michael B. Jordan, essentially what she just said here is Michael B. Jordan has a little dick.
You weren't big enough. You weren't man enough. You weren't something enough for her based on her standards, most likely.
Wow.
And she moved on. And we can't stigmatize women moving on. Y'all want us to settle for less so bad. And when a woman doesn't settle for less and she knows when to zip and zap and dip and dive, you're like, oh, she's a slut because you're not good enough for her. Mm. Now she belongs to the streets. And it's always the men with 17 kids talking about you belong to the streets. Bro, you are the streets. You are the dirty, nasty, rat infested. You're a rat carrying a pizza on a subway in New York, nigga. You are the streets.
So according to that definition, that not only does Michael B. Jordan have a small dick, but Future also he belongs to the streets. Future, the other guy that got with her. Now, again, we can try to find ways to redefine like what's virginity and what's slut shaming and what is this. But you'll notice that everything that comes out of this girl's mouth is basically a euphemism, or it's selling an idea of female empowerment that requires nothing. Remember when I talk about how like men must become and women just are? This right here is women just are. This right here is I didn't have to work for it. I didn't have to do anything about it, but I am entitled to the fucking world. I'm entitled to a guy with a big schlong. I'm entitled to a guy who is an A-list actor. But even that's not good enough.
But because you're not enough for her, and then she ends up with Michael B. Jordan.
This is a good one.
Who is a beautiful man inside and out, I'm sure. Okay. And obviously he can hold her attention. This is what I always say. It's not the first. Remember when Ray J was like, I hit it first. Like, yeah. It ain't cute to be the first. That's not the cute one. Mm. It's the last. Who's good enough to be the last? Mm. The first is easy. I'm experimenting, bro. Of course you were the first. I don't know what I'm doing. You don't know. It's fine. But if I'm an experienced woman who has done my sexual due diligence, who has dated and kissed all the frogs, and then you are the prince and you get to be the last one.
Notice the euphemisms used here. Dated and I just kissed frogs. That's all I did. No, you fucked those guys. That's what you did. You had sex with those guys over and over. You had sex with Future. You had sex with Boo. You had sex with Michael B. Jordan, for fuck's sake. That's what you did, okay? It's not dating. It's not kissing frogs. It's not due diligence. You fuck those guys. That's what it's about. That's the whole problem. Is like, it's not even like when I got into it about like sexual promiscuity, like people say, well, what's the difference? Well, who cares, Rollo? What does it make any difference? Well, first off, it's different for men than it is for women. We just saw, she just made this point, not like 5 minutes ago, right? She made this point. Well, you guys don't have to have any of this. You guys don't have to be judged by this. But we shouldn't judge women for this, right? Imagine you're the next dude. Imagine you're just like average dude. And how old is Lori right now? Is she 26? I know she's like 25. She was when she started dating. She was 25. Maybe she's 26 right now. Lori Harvey, right? Imagine you're the next guy in line. Oh, Lori. Oh, great. I don't know who you are. Let's get together. Let's go. Let's hook up, right? My last boyfriend was Michael B. Jordan, Boo, and Future, and those are the ones that like we know about, at least from this video, anyways. And imagine you're the next guy in line. You're the next dude. Imagine you're Lori Harvey, and do you not think that you're going to have some sort of comparison of every guy that comes after those dudes and say, well, that's my metric. That's my benchmark. Those my measuring stick. I told you couldn't get away from it. My measuring stick is Michael B. Jordan. But don't worry about it. You're cute too. Are you packing? How big is your cock? That's essentially what she's going to say, right? Like, well, it doesn't matter if that was Michael B. Jordan, as long as the next guy comes around has at least 9 inches. And that's, not 6'6", 9 inches, right? It's got to be a little bit longer than the last guy, assuming Michael B. Jordan had a big dick, because apparently, according to Elizabeth here, if she's like putting him on ice, it must mean that he's not packing. So, I mean, it's ridiculous. The conversation is ridiculous to begin with, but look at the underlying, look at the latent purpose in all of this. And the latent purpose here is like, go get yours, girl. It's all about you. Now, when I talk about Drew Afualo, for example, when I talk about Drew, or I talk about like when I was getting into like promiscuous women, here's a woman who's 3-time bestseller, right? She's giving dating advice. She's been married 3 times. She admits as much in one of the other videos that I was watching.